Hi everybody, this is Ellie. Thank you so much for joining me today for my first video of 2023. Today I want to catch up with how I've been feeling and how that has translated into my planners and journals to start the year. First off, I just want to say hi, hello, happy new year. I did not plan to take a social media break, but the holidays were busy, life happened, and the next thing I knew, it was the end of January. I also want to let you know at the outset that this is not a setup or a flip through or anything like that. This is really just going to be a chatty video with probably not a lot happening on screen. And I apologize for that, but you might want to grab your journal or a snack if you do stick around. If you've followed me for a while, you may know that actively learning about and tending to my mental health is a large part of my life and can show up throughout my planners and journals. And I don't usually talk about it explicitly unless it's relevant to the topic, but I would definitely consider today's video more of a mental health and planners combo video. Let's dive in. Basically, I have been feeling, I think I would call it planner indifference or planner discontent to start 2023. I knew coming into 2023 that I wanted to use the A5 Take a Note planner, which is what I have here. I did a whole video with the migration process from my B6 Wonderland 222 into this guy, or at least how I plan to use it. I'll link that video up above. And I was excited about that choice for a number of reasons. And then it came time to start setting up and getting into it. I was super slow going when it came to setting this guy up. You'll have noticed there is still no setup video, and I just wasn't feeling pulled to it. So I knew right away pretty much that something felt off. I kept using it. I think one of the things that I liked the most about this planner, and one of my primary reasons for choosing it, is how open this layout is. I love that it is structured enough that I don't have to worry about if I miss a day, still having a space to write in it. Like with a bullet journal, I know the idea is if you miss a day, you just start where you are and keep going. And while I love that, sometimes I get into moods where I miss a lot of days and then I get overwhelmed about starting, and then I just miss a lot of those moments. So with a planner like this, even if I just went back and jotted down one or two things, the space was there and it would be so much easier for me to do that. So I love it. I love this layout. But it turns out that this openness was kind of overwhelming to me. I just found that there were so many different ways to lay it out. People were so inspiring. I love their spreads. I was trying different things. Nothing was really feeling like me, even though objectively, I actually really like a lot of them. So I figured that I would give myself at least a month in this to really give it a fair shot and try to work through some of my feelings. So here we are, it's January 26th at the day of filming, and I've realized a few things. So first of all, everyone has their own reason for using planners and journals, and they have their own styles. The way I use my planner is to help me organize and keep a record of my life, especially those small moments. If my systems do nothing else for me, I will love that. All these little tasks, as well as the little bits of memory keeping that get sprinkled throughout. As a bonus, my planners are a creative outlet, and they allow me to connect with you guys, with the community, and I love that. They are also tied into my mental health. Planning, journaling can give me a quiet space, a sense of reflection, a sense of control. But more often than not, when I talk about them tying into my mental health, they can be a really good reflection of my mental and emotional state at the time. So knowing all of that, during January, I could not figure out if it was the planner that I found uninspiring or if it was the low mood that I found myself in lately. I knew they both factored in, but I couldn't really figure out what the balance was. And that was frustrating. I was getting really frustrated with myself and the planner, and that is not how I want to feel when I come to my desk. So then we get to earlier this week. I figure I've used this for about a month. I have tried new things, tried old things, still feeling kind of meh about it. And I decide I'm going to think through my other options. So first thing I do is think, do I want to switch it up? I, of course, have a stack of unused planners and journals, so I figured I'd start there with what I already have. So do I want something blank? I have this Planner Monkey Co. freely planned in B6. I have a partially used bullet journal in an A5 Leuchtturm. Love the idea of a bullet journal so much. In an ideal world, I would be in a blank notebook bullet journal. In an ideal world, I don't even know what that means. What I'm trying to say is I just love the system so much. I love that it's just blank space. You put in your dailies, you have space for collections as much as you need. And I am so drawn to that. But like I already said, I know myself, I know where I'm at. I'm not consistent enough right now to capture what I want to in this system. So it doesn't make sense for me to transfer from the Take a Note to these blank notebooks. Then I thought, well, how about the Hobonichi Weeks Mega? I buy this as my backup notebook, and it has enough of the structure and all of these blank pages, but I don't know, turns out I'm just feeling blah about this too. I mean, let me say, these are all amazing notebooks. If you're following me, I'm sure you have the same appreciation I do for all of these wonderful makers. But again, objectively, looking at it, it's great. It could definitely work. I don't know. I just don't see myself flipping back and forth. It would feel redundant to me. I also had these Pebble Stationery Co. inserts. I got these. When did I get these? I think in 2021, and I planned to use them in 2022. Obviously that changed, no problem with that. I do have an unboxing so I can link it, but these are standard size, and one is basically a week's layout and the other is a plain Dockred notebook. So exact same kind of dilemma I had with the weeks. So then I find myself thinking, okay, well, if nothing that I have works, which of course, I could try something new. Maybe I want to see if I can get a hold of one of the Sterling Ink B6 Common Planners because I have been loving seeing how people are using those. Same issues though. I'm still thinking the same thing. It's just going to have the same kind of frustrations that the Weeks or the Pebble Stationery Co. would. I don't want to be flipping back and forth. And after pulling out all of these planners and spending an afternoon with them on my desk, I realized that I am feeling the same sort of discontent or indifference with all of these options. I'm craving things here and there. I'm being super nitpicky, and I'm basically learning that what I want doesn't exist, and there it is. It's not the planner, it's the mood. So yes, I may be nitpicking and frustrated with components of the planners themselves, but ultimately, it's driven by my mood. The Take a Note is a beautiful planner, and I'd venture to guess that any planner that I had started 2023 with, I'd be feeling the same about. And honestly, it was such a freeing realization to understand that it is not about the planner, it is about the low mood, and this is just one of the ways that it's manifesting. And I realize that, and I take a look at my Take a Note through new eyes, and yes, there's been frustration, there's been blah feelings, I've missed the 52 GSM, but I have been in it. I have been in this every day since I started on January 2nd, and I've been recording memories. And most days I do have a list of tasks. And that's what matters to me. Above all, I'm trying to keep a record of my daily life, especially the small moments, and that is happening here. I am going to still do a setup and flip through, so I don't want to show you all the pages, but like, I've been in it. And that means something. That means that this is a system that even when I'm feeling blah and indifferent or frustrated, I still get in it and I still put pen to paper. And if that's all I do right now, that's enough. A while ago, I filmed a video called Finding Your Functional Style. I'll link it up above. And once I had that realization that even though the take a note didn't feel like I expected, it was working for me, I asked myself the 5 questions that I came up with. Why do I want a planner? Well, I want a planner to keep track of my daily life. I want a planner to help me keep track of all the small minutiae, all the little tasks, so that they don't slip through the cracks. Does this do this? Sure does. 2, what do I want to keep track of? I have some small habits I'll want to keep track of throughout the year. That goes in here. And mostly, again, tasks and memory keeping. Plenty of space. Is there a format I prefer? Vertical. Here we go. Where will I use it? Anywhere. Usually it's just at home at my desk. I've been taking some daily supply days. I don't really need to take this with me, but I can. But basically, this is an everywhere planner. The A5 is not the most portable size. That being said, every time I've had a planner meetup or gone to a coffee shop with it, I have plenty of bags that fit this and all of the goodies that come along with it. And lastly, how and when will I incorporate it into my routine? And I think for me, that's probably what I've been struggling with the most. It's the actual routine part of it. And again, that is not the planner's fault. That is attributed to my mood. And also, I've been getting into it. Some days I will go and back plan 2 or 3 days that I've missed, and it feels easy to do that because of these dated pages. So the take a note fits. It checks the boxes. It may not be perfect, and that's okay. Yes, planning is a hobby, it's fun, but most importantly to me, this take a note, any planner that I'm using, it's a tool. And it needs to be one that works, and this one does. And I'm not advocating to stay in a planner that feels like a chore or that doesn't work for you or that you're simply not enjoying. I have heard plenty of people say that the reason they like to switch planners often, or a planner hop, if you will, is because it's exciting to them. It makes them feel creative, they enjoy it, and if that's the case, that's wonderful, that's amazing. In my case, I needed to try to understand why the planner didn't feel right and decide where to go from there. I may not end up spending the entire year in the take a note, but if I do switch, it will be because I actively want to and not because I'm searching to kind of gloss over uncomfortable emotions or challenging moments. And guys, I'm okay. I've lived with an anxiety disorder and low mood for years, and I have a lot of support, and some periods are harder than others. There are some big transitions happening around me, and that's challenging for me. I have always been resistant to change, and actually, that is my word that I've landed on for this year. Change. Not change for the sake of change, but change as in change is the only constant. I'm working on leaning into the discomfort of change and trying to be open to what it may bring. And I'm thankful that I have this take a note here with me while I move through this. Thank you for sticking with me through this video. I plan to just show up eventually with my take a note setup, but I wanted to share my thoughts and experience starting the year and remind you that if your system or planner doesn't feel like you expected, it's okay. I always hope we can give ourselves grace and meet ourselves where we are. Please feel free to say hi and let me know how you've been, how your year's starting out, whether it's related to planners or not. I've missed you guys and I'm glad to be filming again. Thank you guys for being patient through my unexpected YouTube break. I appreciate you, and I am looking forward to future videos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.